Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Edu Skills, OET Medicine. If you're watching this on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like our mission and share your contacts so that we reach out to maximum number of OET aspirants, especially those who are financially and emotionally struggling to crack OET. That's our mission, focus of our mission. And today we are dealing with reading part A. This is the material. We at EduSkills, we respect the copyright, but I don't know what is the copyright of this material, which was sent by one of the aspirants. One second. Let me share my screen and give me feedback at the YouTube comment space if you can hear me audible and visible, and if you can see my screen. The material is shared with the link in the main platform as well as in the special paths. The message, if the screen is visible, yes, visible. Yeah, reading part A, tetanus is the title. How many of you have done this at the Zoom classroom? If you have done this material, just type yes in the comment space. If you have done this material already, just type yes or a thumbs up. Tetanus. No. No further. I'm asking if you have done this material, reading part A, please type in yes. At YouTube comment space, no. If you have not done, type in no. If you have done, type in yes. Because if majority are familiar with this text, right, you'll do then that way. Shiv Kumar, thank you for your super chat. Yes. Elizabeth, thank you for the super chat. Yes. Yeah, yes, only one S is there. Basically, okay. That's what majority have not done it, I believe. You have to respond very fast, okay, when we say, so that we don't waste time. Yes, only two yes. Not done. Okay, yes. Only two yes, so we will go in detail then. Okay. So reading part A, step 1. You know, we are doing it in 4 steps. I have taught you in 12 steps. That's for the beginners. The sessions are uploaded. But now we will be looking into 4 steps. Those 12 steps are included in this short 4 text. So have these steps when you practice, that helps your competency. Step 1, skim the 4 texts. Write down 4 text headings and identify the clues. Identify the clues. Okay. So skimming for what? When you skim, you have to skim for names and abbreviations like names of the condition, medication, organ, test, symptom, device, whatever the names, okay? Look for names, then the number and percentage, then symptoms, okay? Then time or duration expressions, sequential expressions like first, second, third, another, finally, all those. Frequency expressions, scale, adjectives, conjunctions, and negative expressions. Adjectives is very and then important. Conjunctions are much more important. What's the word that we used yesterday for conjunctions?
Fanboys.
Yeah, fanboys. Fanboys are always important, whether it is part A, part B, or part C. You will see that today. Okay, they are fanboys. The conjunctions. So this is the first text. Take a notebook and write down. Do you have any of these things which you have to skim for? Sorry. Yeah, just list. Have a skimming. Tell me if there are some names or dates or numbers or medicines, abbreviations. By the meantime, we have to find the mean title for this. There is no heading for this text. You will have to find a title. Okay. Now somebody can read. By the meantime, we will find the headings and clues. Okay. You have to find the names, numbers, symptoms, duration expression, sequential expression, frequency expression, adjectives, conjunctions, all those things. Read it fast.
Text A. Clostridium tetani is a toxin producing anaerobic.
One sec. There is some other instrument which is not muted. When somebody is reading, please see that you are muted. Otherwise, many you can send them off immediately. Okay, don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. If you have background distraction, don't read. Okay, someone else will read. If the kids are around you, if there are distractions, please don't unmute your audio at all. Yes, please. Continue, please. Or someone else can read if the person has some distraction. Pass. These are opportunities where you build up your confidence, okay?
Clostridium tetani is a toxic producing anaerobic gram-positive bacilli. It is spore-forming pathogen with spores found naturally in soil, animal feces, and manure. Typically, spores are introduced into the body via an injury that causes a break in skin structures such as laceration. Once seed tetany spores were within the body, they converted to their vegetative forms and multiply within the tissue at the site of injury. The anaerobes begins producing toxin, tetanolysin, and tetanospasmin. The tetanus toxin targets vesicles associated membrane protein VAMP, which is involved in neurotransmitters released from nerve ending. Therefore, a symptoms of flaccid torpidity or immobility can be present when the binds and interferes with the symptoms of flaccid torpidity or immobility. Can be present when the binds and interfaces with the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction. The toxin can be transported in the axon and thereby reach the spinal cord or brainstem. Once within the CNS, the toxin can be taken up by inhibitors, GABAergic or glycinergic neurons or both, where the tetanus toxin can cleave warm VAMB and inhibit release of GABA and glycine. The result in rigidity and spasm of hyperactive muscle. The toxin irreversibly binds to tissue and thereby cannot be neutralized by TIG once bound.
Yeah, what is to be highlighted?
Clostridium tetani.
Clostridium tetani.
Okay.
Spore forming.
Spore.
Okay.
Spore forming pathogen. Soil.
Breaking skin, laceration.
Soil, animal feces, and manure, and Clostridium tetani. Vesicle associated membrane.
Is it? Tell me the line.
Abbreviation BAMP.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth line further.
Vesicle associated membrane protein.
Then what else?
GABA.
The spinal cord and the spinal cord or brain stem.
Spinal cord or stem or organ.
Where is it? No, line number.
Next line further. Yeah.
Next line. Don't have spinal cord. Tell me the line number.
10th line further. 10th line. Spinal cord or
Brainstem.
brainstem. Then 11th line GABA. The neurons are
GABA.
same line further. And glycine. Negative expression in the last line cannot be neutralized.
Okay. Now, tell me what could be the heading. You can create any heading that you understand.
Description further.
Okay, description or definition, whatever you want to. Just write down text A description in your notebook, okay? Text B. Yeah,
Diagnosis.
diagnosis heading is there already, right?
Yes.
So just read fast, someone just read fast, just to have an idea. Don't worry, even if you can pronounce a word that you have to learn, you need not go into pronounce exactly the word. Just have an idea, glancing through, that's all. Even if you don't read a particular word properly, it's cool. Just to understand what is the content. Yeah, please.
There is no existing laboratory test for tetanus, thus the diagnosis is based purely upon clinical presentation. In 2009, the Council of State and Tertiary Epidemiologists published a case of definition which stated, in the absence of a more likely diagnosis, an acute illness with the muscle spasm or hypertonia and diagnosis of the tetanus by the health of the provider. Cases are classified or probable provided they are clinically compatible with the tetanus presentations and reported by a healthcare professional. There is no definitions for confirmed tetanus. A case of suggestive of tetanus should be reviewed for immunization status, history of injury, duration before a patient develops signs and symptoms, patient-specific signs and symptoms, and their progressions in order to make the diagnosis. Although not in all the cases, it is possible. However, and in a early intervention before the condition becomes serious can be better understood. Majorly, it is connected more or less to be incubation period.
Okay. Anything else you want to highlight?
Muscle spasm,
Further is
hypertonia.
majorly is need further last more or less. Okay.
Wherever there is a conjunction fan voice, you should highlight, okay.
Yeah, the contrast word last, however, although.
Yes. So already you have the heading, so nothing to worry about. Heading diagnosis is the heading, right? Okay. Pharmacy is very, very short. Do it fast, yeah. Already epidemiology, already the heading is there. Write down on your notebook. Text C, epi. Then you also, yes. Plus, please read.
Epidemiology. Since 1947, when tetanus became a nationally reportable disease in the United States, the number of the cases has got curtailed by more than 90%, and the number of the death dwindled by more than 70%. Between 2001 and 2008, the Center for Disease Control received 233 tetanus case reports with 197 reported patient outcomes. The case fatality rate for the period analyzed was 1 to 3.2% with the annual incidence of 0.10 per 1 million and 0.3 for those more than 65 years of age. Tetanus toxoid containing vaccination status was known for 92% with 92 patients, of which 37 had received no dose of TT vaccination. Appropriate prophylaxis was not administered in 49 of 51 patients who were presented with an acute wound.
Epidemiology. So already you have the heading, right?
Yes.
Anything else you want to highlight? Already so many numbers are there. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 numbers will be asked. Percentage will be asked, that's all. Okay, just have a glance, that's all. Shall we go to the next?
Yes, Father.
Yeah, somebody please read. Heading is there, treatment, text D. Heading is there, still we'll have a reading. Just get an idea.
Treatment.
Anyone?
According to the CDC, the tetanus treatment includes the administration of TAG, a tetanus toxoid booster, against to control muscle spasm, benzodiazepines in the bracket, and antibiotics, metronidazole. Aggressive wound care measures should also be initiated. TAG confers passive immunity to the toxin produced by tetanus pathogen. Clostridium tetani through the neutralization of the exotoxin produced by the bacterium. TAG is indicated for prophylaxis in patients whose immunization status against the tetanus is incomplete or uncertain. TAG is also indicated as a component for the regimen for the treatment of active cases of tetanus. Standard dosing per the package of insert for routine prophylaxis of adults and children of 7 years or older in 250 units in 250 units of TAG given by deep intramuscular injection. Children below 7 years can receive prophylactic dose of either 4 units per kg or the entire content of the vial 240 units. Treatment of active cases should be implemented immediately with the dosage adjusted according to the severity of the infections. Currently, the recommended dose range is 500 to 6,000 units with no optional range clearly defined. A study conducted by National enrolled 20 patients with active tetanus and rated with them each with a single dose of between 3,000 to 6,000 units.
Okay, thank you. You have the headings, right? So
Yes.
you have
Father.
identify the 4 headings and write them down. Okay, always practice this way in the initial stages. Identify the 4 text headings. Now write down on a piece of paper. Okay. Bacteria and pathophysiology or definition and description, whatever you want to. Okay. The first paragraph, I took it as bacteria and pathophysiology. Okay. Or you can description, definition. It's only for our understanding. So anything you can write. So text B is diagnosis. Text C is epidemiology. And text D is treatment. Okay. Yes. So you have to write on top of every page of your book question booklet on the top corner. You have to write down in short, whatever. Instead of writing bacteria, you can just write BACT, that's pool. Diagnosis, you can write DIAG, whatever you understand. Treatment, you can just write TREAT, treat. But then for your understanding. Okay, write down on each page of your part a text booklet and question booklet. Okay, reading part is step 2. Read question statements, that is question 1 to 20, and highlight the keywords and match each question with the related text. You know, from 1 to 7 questions, you have the task of matching the text. You have to answer saying whether it is in A, text B, or text C, or text D. Whereas we are doing it for the practice purpose, we want to match all the 20 questions with the text in this second step. Okay, now tell me, do you have any idea? Contact the person. Questions 1 to 7.
Due to of the bacteria.
Constant decrease in number of deaths due to the bacteria. Okay. Any idea where it is? Which text?
A, Father.
Part A.
Let's say Father.
Let's
A.
see. A.
Also,
Then
yes.
need to evaluate the conditions and adhering to proper medical regime. Evaluate.
Evaluate.
Part
Diagnosis.
D. Oh, sorry. This is
The
B,
diagnosis.
B.
Evaluate the condition. Diagnose, Father. B.
diagnosis.
Condition. Yes. Okay. Then increased lightness of muscle tone and reduced capacity of the muscle to stretch.
A.
Hmm.
B.
Is it B?
B, Father.
B,
B.
sir.
Agree?
Muscle spasm and
Yeah, B. Okay. Then help decrease the bacterial invasion.
Bacteria invasion.
Hmm?
Treatment.
This one?
antibiotic.
Help
C.
decrease.
D.
That's why it is
B, sir.
treatment. It will
Treatment.
D, D.
D. Treatment.
Bacteria is adept at cutting or treating down the skin surface.
bacteria.
Cutting of that.
A, Father.
A.
A.
Father.
A.
Need of identifying and providing vaccines.
D, Father. Treatment.
D.
Treatment.
And a sign of weak paralysis.
B.
Sis.
Diagnose.
B.
Hmm? Which one?
B, Father.
B?
B.
D.
Sign. Yeah.
You mean D?
B.
B for ball.
B.
B.
B. Okay. Now 8 to 14. Let's see. What is known to affect molecular assembly? No idea?
Molecular assembly. Description. A, Father.
A.
Where toxin eventually lead to. And this is not very authentic material, okay? I don't know where they got it from, whatever. I'll show you why it is not very authentic. What is the duration for the tetanus disease to become severe? Duration.
Duration. C, Father.
C.
There
C,
is lot
Father.
of
Okay, what is reported as not executed among patients? Something is not executed among patients. What is acceptable medication for small children?
D, Father.
D.
D.
Medication is there, right?
Yeah, may.
Yeah, what does the tetanus toxoid boosters confers?
D, Father.
Hmm.
B.
D.
Now you know this one signal is here, why this is not official. What does the tetanus toxoid boosters confer? It can never be confers. Double, there's a grammar mistake in the question itself. In OET official, real question papers can never have grammar mistakes. 14. What symptoms can be present when the toxin binds and interferes with the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction?
Symptoms.
Hmm?
Etiology.
Which one?
What
Number.
symptoms? B for the
Hmm?
B for ball.
That's it. No worries. And 14, 15 to 20. TIG cannot neutralize the toxin once it
A.
A for
is it.
D.
Hmm?
enter the body. B.
The spores converts to their dash as they enter the body. The spores was highlighted.
A.
B.
A.
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 Yeah, the dash is reported to be the actual rate by which the death occurred.
Epidemiology. 3.
B.
C.
B.
C.
C.
Hmm?
C.
Which one?
Epidemiology.
C.
C.
C for the
C.
Yeah. The report and all those, the epidemiology means study, right? So reported
Yes.
all those things and comes under. Okay. And dash in appropriate ranges can be given for the children who are 7 years. We have highlighted 7 years of age.
D for
Which one?
D for the
Okay, reports again. Reports. Please, if you have the kids around, don't unmute, okay? Reports show that it can be possible to effectively deal with the disease with the dash. Which one?
B. Diagnosis.
Study,
reports.
right?
C for the
C.
Yes, reports may study, no? With the presence of the dash, the severity of the disease reaches to its highest degree. Presence of what? Yeah. Not sure. Let's see. Okay.
Diagnosis.
Yeah, we'll come back. Now, research paragraph analysis. Now, actually, you will not have, as far as my experience goes with all the students whom I have taught, when they have come back, they have said such, this was the topic and all that. And such type of text will never happen. And mainly there are so many grammar mistakes. Even otherwise, the things are not very professional here. But still, I thought, since many are concerned about research paragraph analysis, we will be dealing with it. So, identify the 4 text headings, write down on a piece of paper. That is done. Now, we have highlighted some names, abbreviations, and all these, right? Now, let's see logical scientific structure of a research text. Whatever the research text comes in your exam, there is a structure, particular structure for every text. So, what is the first step? Identification of the organism. Where is it identified?
Organs. Oh, option A.
toxin
Clostridium
producing
tetani.
anaerobic gram-positive bacillus.
Yeah. That is identifying what is the organism. The first slides show that. Second, entry into the body. Via. And introduced into the body via. Right?
Yes, Father.
Via an injury that causes. So, where does the organism enter into the body? Okay. Identification of organism. Here in the second sentence, they are saying where is it found? Soil, animal feces, and manure, right? The origin also is mentioned there. Okay, with the identification of the organism. Then they say entry into the body. How do they enter into a human body? Via an injury. Okay.
Injury that causes
Laceration.
laceration.
Then what happens inside the body? See the sequence. It is outside there in the soil, animal feces, and manure. Then through a laceration or a injury in your body, it enters the body. After entering the body, what happens? Toxin production. Toxin production. That affects toxin targets all those vesicle associated membrane protein, all of those things. Okay. Then mechanism of action in the new nervous system. And the toxin is proceed. What happens? What is the mechanism in the nervous system? Then what are the clinical manifestations? What are the clinical manifestations of these mechanism happening within the nervous system? Then treatment limitation. What are the treatments? What are the treatment limitations? So these are the normal scientific steps. So let's see. We'll go into detail. Okay. Yeah. Now you have to identify these things and separately write down. Okay, that's the best way to practice. Okay. Now see topic sentence. See the topic sentence, main subject of a para, microbiological identity of the organism. The first line, that is the topic sentence. Main subject of the para is the toxin producing anaerobic gram positive bacil. Okay. Next sentence, supporting sentence 1, organism's origin, habitat, and survival mechanism. It is a spore-forming pathogen with spores found naturally in soil, animal feces, and manure. Okay, supporting sentence. Then supporting sentence 2, how infection begins. Mode of transmission. Mode of transmission. How does it enter the body? Then the developing sentence, what happens after entry into the body? You have to understand the sequence. That helps you a lot to gain confidence in tackling such texts. Developing sentence 2, bacterial growth, toxin production. For example, if you have not gone through the paragraph structure, you will not understand what is topic sentence, supporting sentence. That's why I asked you to complete 1 to 40, the 1 to 39 episodes, okay, of which I have shared the link. That is the basic foundation which we created so that you can watch yourself. There are small videos. Developing sentence 2, bacterial growth, toxin production. Okay. Developing sentence 3, neurophysiological disruption. Then developing sentence 4, clinical consequence of toxin action, mechanism, clinical symptom. Then developing sentence 5, spread of the toxin within the nervous system, progression of disease, peripheral, nerve, axon, spinal cord, brainstem. Okay, from the peripheral nerve it goes to axon, then to spinal cord and brainstem. Developing sentence 6, target cells. Toxin affects neurons that release GABA, glycine, inhibit muscle contraction. Developing sentence 7, explains neurological mechanism because inhibitory neurotransmitters are blocked. Muscles cannot relax. Developing sentence 8, main clinical manifestations of tetanus, muscle rigidity and spasms. Concluding sentence, important clinical implication for treatment, medical conclusion and warning. This is the beauty of your paragraph. If you get that idea, you know how what is the subject, okay? Then where does the organism live and how it enters the body, what is the transmission, and what happens to this organism, bacteria, once it enters the body, okay? Then what are the mechanisms happening within the body? What are the symptoms? What are the clinical consequences? Then how does this bacteria spread inside the nervous system? How does it target cells? Then what happens to the nerve system? Then what are the main clinical manifestations of tetanus or bacteria or this particular condition? Then concluding sentence. Is that clear? You have to work out once you go home. After the session, you have to work out these things, okay? Now you see, first one,
Okay,
you can
Father.
take, pardon? Sorry?
No, Father. I just said okay, Father.
Yeah. See, now, another way I'm giving you to understand this paragraph. First, it will speak, such text will speak about the environment. What is the environment? Or this, what is given in green, okay? Pathogen with spores found naturally in soil, animal waste, and mammal. Then wound. Then bacterial growth. Then toxin production. As a result, nerve damage. Then muscle spasms. Did you understand this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Once you understand this way, as you go to the questions, immediately you know that speaking about the environment or about the wound, where is transmission happens, then bacterial growth within the body, how toxin is produced, how does it damage the nerve system or nervous system, then muscle spasms, how does it affect muscles? Okay. So environment, wound, bacterial growth, toxin production, nerve damage, muscle spasms. This is the structure of a normal research papers, whichever the paper, you may have a different tetanus or different bacteria or different condition, but the procedure steps will be same. So, see, natural environment, spores and soil, animal feces, manure. Okay, pathophysiology of tetanus, entry into body through wound or laceration, spores enter tissues, spores convert to vegetative bacteria, bacterial multiplication at injury site, production of toxins, names are given toxins, toxin targets VAMP protein in nerve endings, neurotransmitter release disrupted, toxin travels through actions, releases spinal cord, brainstem, blocks GABA and glycine release, loss of muscle inhibition, muscle rigidity and spasms, toxin blinds irreversibly to nerve tissue, TIG cannot neutralize toxin. Did you see the sequence, how it goes? If you can medically think, you can simply visualize this process. The outside bacteria entering the body, how does it enter? And what happens once it enters the body? What are the repercussions or results or the problems? Then what are the manifestations or symptoms? Then what are the treatments? Simple procedure. Okay. So step 1, pathophysiology of tetanus. Step 1, entry of bacteria, source and entry route. From where does it, what is the source? Yeah, what is the source?
Animal feces,
It is or soil,
soil.
okay, or manure. Entry route?
Injury the body.
Via
Injury.
injury or laceration. Okay.
Laceration.
Step 2, bacterial multiplication inside the body. Step 3, toxin action or the disruption that happens inside the body. Step 4, spread to central nervous system, peripheral nervous, then to actions, then to spinal cord, then brainstem. Okay. Step 5, neurotransmitter block, toxin blocks, release of GABA, that's a spelling mistake, and glycine. Step 6, clinical effects, leads to muscle rigidity, painful spasms, hyperactive muscles. Step 7, important clinical note. Once the toxin binds to nerve tissue, TIG cannot neutralize it. Therefore, early treatment is essential. This is how you have to dissect the paragraph and try to understand what are the steps. Since you are medical professionals, easily you can identify these things in the paragraph. Do you understand this sequence? I will not be doing it for all the paragraphs, but I'm showing in one text. Okay. Pathophysiology of tetanus, 1 10-sentence summary. If you summarize the whole text, what is given there? Tetanus occurs when spores enter a wound, produce neurotoxins that block inhibitory neurotransmitters, leading to severe muscle rigidity and spasms. Are you able to summarize the whole text into one sentence? Okay. Enters, produces, blocks, leaves. Okay, all those things. How do you do? Recognize 4 information layers. Step 1, definition of organism. Step 2, transmission of entry. Step 3, mechanism of disease. Step 4, clinical effects. Yeah. In short, if you understand these 4 steps in a paragraph, research paper, paragraph text, whatever you call it, all texts are from medical journals, all are research papers. But then if you mean this is the research paper, this is going to be a component. When you read, you should understand these things. So when the question is speaking about some definition about organism or bacteria, it comes here. When the question is speaking about transmission, connected, entering into the body, it comes in part A, text A. Mechanism of disease, then it comes in part A. Clinical effects, it comes under text A. Okay. So scientific paragraph reading for organism, entry, toxin, and symptoms. If you want to put it even shorter. Scientific paragraph, what you have to read for? When you read, you have to look for the organism, entry, toxin, symptoms. Why do you find difficulty in understanding scientific paragraphs? Reading the entire text slowly. Reading the entire text slowly. You should not be reading the entire text. You should be just finding out these 4 things. Glance through and find. Don't read entire text like a story. Second thing, trying to understand every word. Text part A reading, OET reading, you need not understand every word at all. You have to just glance through and understand the things. Translating the paragraph mentally. Never try to translate the paragraph mentally. That will make it difficult. Okay. And reading for topic, key medical terms, numbers, symptoms, treatments, and fanboys. Topic. When you read, look for the topic. What is the topic here in text A? Bacteria, right? Then key medical terms, numbers, symptoms, treatments, fanboys. OET questions usually test what? Questions will be based on entry of infection, mechanism of disease, symptoms, and treatment. Questions will be based on these things. Just write down these things on your paper. Are you all there? I can't see you.
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Write
Father.
down these things. Then we'll be looking for this in the questions. I'm telling the questions will be based on these things. Only these things. Let's check. Entry of infection, mechanism of disease, symptoms, treatment. YouTube, 2 screens are visible, you are saying, right? Are there
Yes,
2
Father.
screens in the... Why is that? I don't know. Maybe when I got disconnected. Mini Jackson, are you the host now?
What's a
Are
co-host?
you the...
Co-host.
You are the host, right?
No, I'm the co-host.
Okay, then why is that? YouTube is showing 2 screens. Let's see. But you can read, right?
Yes, Father.
Yes.
Okay, I've written down 4 numbers, 4 words here, 4 steps. So I said OET questions usually test entry of infection, mechanism of disease, symptoms, and treatment, nothing else. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, Father.
Now you should have this written in your notes for the reference when you answer the questions, okay? Let's go to the question. First one. Bacteria is adept at cutting or tearing down the skin surface. Entry of infection, right?
Part A.
Entry of
Infection.
infection.
Yes, Father.
A sign of weak paralysis. Sign is the synonym of symptom.
Symptom.
Symptoms.
Okay.
Okay, that's the third point. What you have written 4 points. No, this number means that. Okay, third one is symptom, right? Read that 4 things. Just read those 4 things.
Eh.
Entry of infection,
Entry of-
mechanism of
entry of
disease,
infection.
symptoms, treatment.
Symptoms,
Treatment.
symptoms, treatment.
Yeah, I have written it on the corner of the page. You can see, right? You just zoom the screen, okay, as of now, because if I try to change it, if we disconnect, it will be difficult, okay? You can manage, right? You have to zoom the YouTube screen. Okay. 8th one. What is known to affect molecular assembly?
Mechanism of disease.
Mechanism of
the
disease, yeah.
Correct.
9th one, where toxin eventually will lead to mechanism of
Mechanism
disease.
of the disease.
How does it affect, right? What symptoms
Lead
can be
to
present when the toxin binds and interferes with the release of all the neuromuscular functions? Symptoms, yeah, symptoms. Then TIG cannot neutralize the toxin once it. TIG is treatment, right?
Toxin treatment.
The spores convert to their dash as they enter the body.
Convert mechanism.
Mechanism of disease. With the presence of the dash, the severity of the disease reaches to its highest degree. With the presence of the dash, presence of one die is repeated there, okay? With the presence of a symptom, they're asking a symptom there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is third one, symptom. So what I'm telling you, all the questions will be based on only these four things. So when you read, you have to understand the entry of infection, mechanism of the disease, symptoms, and treatment. I like that. That's all. Let's see. Now, sorry. Fanboys, screws. This is text A, okay? A sign of weak paralysis. Therefore, a symptom of flaccid or immobility can be present when the bind interferes with the release of all this. So, or is here, right?
Yes, Father.
And you have a question from there. Sign of weak paralysis. What is weak paralysis? What is the synonymous expression used in the text here on the left side?
Immobility.
Immobility.
Flaccid obesity or
Flaccid.
immobility.
Flaccid.
A sign of, a symptom of.
I know. Yes.
So there is a fanboy here smiling at you, right?
Yes, Father.
And that is an answer. And you have so many fanboys here. Below one fanboy, here one fanboy, here one fanboy, here one fanboy. You will see everything is an answer. Let's see. How beautiful. Okay. Where toxin eventually will lead to. The toxin can be transported, lead to in the actions and thereby reach the spinal cord or brainstem. There is a fanboy. So this is the answer, spinal cord or brainstem. Lead to spinal cord or brainstem. Sorry.
Lead to.
So there is a fanboy, right? Second fanboy.
Yes.
And that is the answer. That's why I said smart work is important. Next one. See here. 14th question. What symptoms can be present when the toxin binds and interferes with the release of the acetylcholine?
Acetylcholine.
Acetylcholine. Yes, acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction. Okay. What symptoms can be present? Therefore, a symptom of flaccid obesity or immobility can be present when the toxin binds and interferes with the release of this and the neuromuscular junction. Or fanboy is there, right?
Yes.
Again, this is the second question. Earlier we had a question based on the same thing. Paralysis,
Yes,
weak paralysis.
Weak paralysis.
Yeah, that is the seventh question. Again, you have one more question with that fanboy. Just see how beautiful it is. Okay? You have to write down these and understand the synonyms and synonymous expressions and paraphrasing. That comes only by practice, gradual competency. Nobody can just inject it, okay? The next one. Question 16. The spores convert to their dash as they enter the body. Yeah. Once tetanus spores are within the body, they convert to their vegetative forms and multiply. Fanboy is there again. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And their
Yes.
vegetative form and multiply is the answer. From same text, okay? Next question. Where toxin eventually will lead to. The toxin can be transported to action and thereby reach the final part of the okay, that's over. See? Cutting or tearing down the skin surface via the injury that causes a break in skin structure. What is the word expression used here? Cutting or tearing.
Cutting.
Here it is.
Cutting or tearing.
Here it is.
Here
Body
it is
injury
Break.
and laceration. Okay. paralysis, flaccid torpidity, or immobility? That is question 7. Question 8. Okay, what is known to affect molecular assembly? That nestotic targets basically associated with brain protein, which is involved in deliveries from nerve endings. So there is an abbreviation as well. Where toxin lead to? The toxin can be transported in the axons and thereby reach the spinal cord or brain. Lead to reach. Synonymous expression. And 14th one, what symptoms? A symptom of. Okay. 15th one, PIG cannot. The toxin binds a tissue and thereby cannot be neutralized by PIG. Negative expression and fanboys. Do you see the importance of fanboys?
Yes, Father.
Almost every answer, every question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions from the same text. Okay, then 20th one, 16th one, the spores convert to their dash as they enter the body. So one says that the spores are within the body, they convert to their vegetative forms and multiply. Sorry. So 20th one, with the presence of the dash, the severity of the disease reaches to its highest degree. GA, BA, and glycine. Fanboy is there again. So, first one, bacteria is adapted cutting, entry of infection, a sign of weak paralysis, symptom, what is known to affect molecular assembly, mechanism, where toxin eventually lead to mechanism, symptoms, interfere symptom, PIG cannot treatment, the spores convert to their dash, mechanism of disease, with the presence of the dash, the severity symptom. Okay? Did you get the idea?
Yes, Father.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
Father.
Now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fanboys. Out of 7 questions, 5 fanboys are the answers. Are there any other fanboys in the paragraph? I don't think. So this is called smart work. When you see the fanboys, just underline them and find the answer there. And what does it mean? Just concentrate on that sentence. Okay, locate the answers for 8 to 20. 1, constant decrease in number of deaths due to the bacteria. Question number 1 says, you have to just match the heading. That's all. Match with the text. It is found in C, constant decrease in number of deaths due to the bacteria. Number of deaths dwindled by 70%. What is the criteria? Strategy used here? Number and percent. Number and percent. Constant decrease in number. Here the synonymous expression is dwindled. Dwindled means decreased. You have to write down this in your diary. Keep a diary of synonyms, synonymous expression, and paraphrasing. Okay? If you are following me, are you there?
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
Yeah,
Yes,
you have to
Father.
respond.
Yes,
You have to
Father.
respond, otherwise I will not know whether I'm disconnected. Okay? Yes. See the dwindled and decrease synonyms. And number was one criteria, one strategy, right? We have to
Yes,
highlight
Father.
many numbers. I said a couple of numbers will be the answers. So easy to go there. There is only, see, number of deaths, fatality. Constant decrease, dwindled. This is how you have to keep a diary of synonyms and synonymous language. Question word in the text. Question word in the use this constant decrease. Text it uses dwindle. Question word, question statement uses number of deaths. Here text is fatality. Okay. Constant decrease in number of deaths due to the bacteria. Text C says the number of deaths has dwindled by 70%. I am showing you this for every material. You have to write down this. And Anita Taj, I don't know that she is here. She is the best example. She has created a diary of synonyms. Now, don't ask her to send me all the diary of synonyms. That will not help you in any way. Only from your practice materials, you have to collect these. Then only you will understand the meaning is in the context. Okay? So this is synonymous expressions. This is paraphrasing. Okay, second question. Need to evaluate the conditions and adherent to proper medical regime. Okay. Need to evaluate. You know, diagnosis, but the word proper medical regime. Should be reviewed. Sorry. Should be reviewed for immunization after history of injury, signs and symptoms, patients' visible symptoms, and their progression. They are asking in which text you have that evaluation and adhering to proper medical regime. Then, evaluate conditions. Review is the word used in the text. Medical regime, treatment process. The synonymous expression in the text. So, need to evaluate the conditions and adhering to proper medical regime. A case suggestive of tetanus should be reviewed for immunization status, history of injury, symptoms, and progression. And question 3, increased lightness of muscle tone and reduced capacity of the muscle to stretch. You have to just identify the text where it belongs to. So it is in B, muscle spasms or hypertonia. Again, you have a fanboy here, right?
Yes, Father. Or
Reduced capacity of the muscle to stretch. Lightness of muscle tone and reduced capacity of the muscle to stretch. So you have here muscle spasms or hypertonia.
Hypertonia.
Okay. So there is a fanboy and that is the answer. So you have to write down muscle tone. Synonymous used is hypertonia in the text. So increased lightness of muscle tone and reduced capacity of the muscle to stretch, muscle spasms or hypertonia. That's what given in the text. Text today, fourth question, help decrease the bacterial invasion. Okay, aggressive wound care, all those things are there. You need not understand that. In the text, question word it says decrease invasion. Text says antibiotics. Question word says treatment. Text says PIG wound care. So, help decrease the bacterial invasion is fourth question. Text says treatment improves PIG, antibiotics, and aggressive wound care. Fifth question, bacteria is adapted cutting or treating down the skin or skin surface. Okay, typically is the expression, okay? Spores are introduced into the body via an injury that causes a break in skin structure such as laceration. Okay, here you see cutting or tearing, laceration, skin surface, break in skin structure. Synonymous expressions. So question 5 reads, bacteria is adapted cutting or tearing down the skin surface. Text A paraphrases it saying, introduced via an injury that causes a break in skin structure such as laceration. How beautiful. Sixth question, need of identifying and providing vaccines. A case suggestive of tetanus should be reviewed for immunization factors. Evaluating immunization status when diagnosing tetanus means highlight the importance of vaccination history. Okay, so vaccines, synonymous expression, immunization status. Need of identifying and providing vaccines. Yes. And seventh one, a sign of weak paralysis. Already we have seen passive probability or immobility. Again, fanboy is there. Interference with the acetylcholine release can cause flaccid probability or immobility, weak or reduced muscle movement, paralysis like state. So, weak, flaccid, synonym. Paralysis, immobility, synonym. A sign of weak paralysis, flaccid probability or immobility. And question 8, what is known to affect molecular assembly? Now you need the answers, right? The toxin acts on vesicular membrane protein affecting neurological release. The tetanus toxin targets vesicle associated membrane protein, VAMP, which is, the neurotransmitter release from nerve endings. Tetanus toxin, the name is there, the abbreviation is there, and that was the answer. So, molecular assembly, VAMP, synonyms used. Affect, target. What is known to affect molecular assembly? The tetanus toxin targets. The tetanus toxin targets VAMP. Okay, where toxin eventually will lead to? The answer is spinal cord or brainstem. You have a fanboy. You have a fanboy there.
fanboys.
Yes. The toxin travels through axons and reaches the central nervous system. Reach the spinal cord. Now you see lead to synonymous reach in the text. Where toxin eventually lead to reach the spinal cord or brainstem. 10th one, what is the duration for the tetanus disease to become severe? Okay, duration. They are asking for a duration. Okay, however, contrast word is there, always important. An early intervention the condition becomes serious can be better understood. Majorly, it is connected more or less to the incubation period. There is a period, right? That is the answer. More or less was there. Majorly is that you have to highlight. That's the answer. So, duration, incubation period. What is the duration of the tetanus disease to become severe? Connected to the incubation period. I am giving you, I have made these slides typically to tell you, you have to go through these steps. If you have to develop competency, you can definitely, you reach a competency where you can complete part A within 7 or 8 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, and score achieve 20 out of 20. Then, what is reported as not executed among patients? Appropriate prophylaxis was not administered, not executed, not administered in 49 of 51. Means 96% of patients. Number is that, percent is that is the answer. So, appropriate prophylaxis is the answer. So, among patients, what is reported as not executed among patients? Not executed among 96% patients. So, not executed, not administered. Then, question 12. What is acceptable medication for small children? Medication, it is in treatment immediately. Right? Children, fanboy is there, and children. Fanboy is there, and answer is there. And children of 7 years or older, again, there is a fanboy here. Is 250 units of TIG is the answer given by deep transfer injection. So, medication, TIG, small children, children below 7. So, what is acceptable medication for small children? 250 units of TIG. And next one, question 13. What does the tetanus toxoid booster confirm? TIG confirms passive immunity to the toxin. That is the answer. Okay, TIG abbreviation is there, and we have highlighted it. TIG is repeated, and one of them is the answer. So, confers, provides. Okay, what does the tetanus toxoid booster confers? Text says TIG confers passive immunity to the toxin. So, question number 14. What symptoms can be present when the toxin binds and interferes with the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction? Yes. I have to learn the tongue twisters now. So, what symptom? Symptom is here. Symptoms of flaccid property or immobility. Fanboy is there. That was the answer. Okay. So, question 14. 15. TIG cannot neutralize the toxin once it dash. Once it, the toxin irreversibly binds to tissues. Once it irreversibly binds to tissues, TIG cannot neutralize the toxin. Cannot be neutralized by TIG. Just sentence is paraphrase, that's all. TIG abbreviation is there, that's the answer. Cannot neutralize, irreversibly binds. TIG cannot neutralize toxin once it dash, irreversibly binds to tissues is the answer. 16. The spores convert to their dash as they enter the body. They convert to their vegetative forms and multiply within the tissue at the site of injury. Answer is vegetative forms and multiply. One fanboy is there, that is the answer. So, 17. Dash is reported to be the actual rate by which the death occurred. Again, I said fatality rate for the period analyzed was 13.2%. Number and percent. So, death rate, case fatality. Actual rate of death reported, case fatality rate is 13.2%. And 18th one, dash inappropriate ranges can be given for the children who are 7 years of age. Again, you have one fanboy here, okay, and children of 7 years is here. Answer is here, okay. So the answer is prophylactic doses.
Prophylaxis.
Yeah, 19th one, reports show that it can be possible to effectively deal with the disease with the dash. A study report conducted by National Told 20 patients with acute tetanus and treated them each with a single dose of between disease with 3,000 and 6,000 units. Okay. Question, disease can be treated with dose between 3,000 and 6,000 units. 21. With the presence of the dash, the severity of the disease reaches its highest degree. The tetanus toxins can cleave VAB and inhibit the release of GABA and glycine. GABA and glycine, fanboy is there, that is the answer. Abbreviation is there, that is the answer. Okay. So here, severity, text says rigidity, spasms. Mechanism, neurotransmitter inhibition. Sorry. So question says percent of dash increase the severity, the tetanus toxin targets VA and B is the answer given. Okay. So answer key is this. Tetanus toxin, spinal cord or brainstorm. What is that or? Incubation period, duration, appropriate prophylaxis may to 50 units of the PIG abbreviation number, passive immunity to the toxin, classic orbidity or immobility, again, fanboys, irreversible by two tissues, vegetative forms and multiply, again, fanboy, 13.2% number, prophylactic doses, 3,600,000 units, again, number, GABA and glycine, name, abbreviation name, and fanboy. So you see, C is epidemiology, B is diagnosis, D is diagnosis, third one is diagnosis, fourth one D treatment, fifth one A bacteria, sixth one B diagnosis, seventh one A bacteria, eighth one tetanus toxin bacteria means A, okay, I have put short form. Spinal cord or brainstorm, text A bacteria, incubation period, text B diagnosis, appropriate prophylaxis. Text C epidemiology, 250 units of PIG, that is text D treatment, passive immunity to the toxin, that is D treatment, classic probability or immobility, that is A, text A bacteria, irreversibly binds to tissues, the text A bacteria, vegetative forms and multiply, text A bacteria, 13.2%, that is text C epidemiology, prophylactic doses, text D treatment, 3,000 to 6,000 treatment, text D treatment, GAB and glycine, text A bacteria. Now, if you want to other way about, okay, one is epidemiology, diagnosis, treatment, entry, infection, diagnosis, symptoms, mechanism, treatment, epidemiology, treatment, symptoms, treatment, limitation, diagnosis, epidemiology, treatment, neurotransmitters. Okay. Each answer is based on that. Do you want to visit any of the slides? Hello.
Yes, Father, it is clear, Father.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
Maybe-
Father. It was good
Thank you,
explanation.
Yes, and if you just know the tactics, here you see, first question, you have 8 questions, I think, from first text. Every sentence there is an answer. First
Thank you
text
so
is
much,
so
sir.
short. Right?
Thank-
And 5 of them are fanboys. First text, 8 questions from first text, such a small paragraph. Every sentence is an answer. Then why do you find it difficult? And out of that, 5 of them are fanboys. 5 of them are fanboys. There are only 5 fanboys, all the 5 are answers. Just count how many sentences are there, you will understand.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Father, for the beautiful explanation. Now understand, even though the research paper also we can tackle easily with your strategies. Thank you so much.
But the problem is that you need to practice. You have to take the 10 text I have sent in the main platform as well as special batch group. You have to take the text and sit with the text and identify all these. You might have taken the screenshots, right? You can share it in the group and share the screenshots if somebody has not got it. They could not take it. Please share the screenshots, or else I can give you the PPTs, no issue. But then take the test and try to work out these steps by yourself. Okay, maybe write down those headings I have given steps, write down, then in front of that step, write the sentence connected to that step.
Seem better take the printed copy, right, Father, than we.
Yeah, I have
And
given the
take 5
word
copy.
I have given you the word copy, not PDF, word copy, so that you can make it in any way. You can shorten it on the right. You can take a print with the big margin where you can write down other things. So it's a word copy, Microsoft Word copy I have sent you. But then I tell you, this is not very authentic material. There are so many grammar mistakes in the text as well as in the questions, which will never happen in a double benchmark examination. So authenticity is question, and you don't get such, normally you don't get such questions in the OET, but then maybe 1% chance. But still it is good to develop your competency. That's why I've taken this. So see, there are many beginners that I've shown you the synonyms and synonymous diary and the paraphrasing in every question. You have to create that. If you need advice on that, and Anita Daji is a specialized in that, admin Anita Daji. And the discussion group they are creating, maybe Nitya Binil and Mini, you can approach them. They are creating daily synonyms and these diaries. But don't go and ask them, give me all the diaries, all the glossary. That will not help you. But that will help you how to do it. Every day, if you start practicing, that will definitely improve your competency. Otherwise, you'll be simply reading, finding out the answer, and how many answers are right is not our concern at all. You should know why they are right and how you got the answer. All these things are important. Your score is not at all important until what? Until your mock test. Only during mock test you need the score. Sorry, let me just. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And you should really enjoy these things. Now, I found it so interesting. That's why I did so many slides. It takes a lot of time, but I want just to convince you. See, I can explain without these slides. I can simply explain that paragraph, but you will not understand. That's the problem. So imagine how much work is there to take one session. When you ask me one session. See, it's not that I understand, but I should make you understand, right? Without these the slides, will you understand if I tell all these things? Go on explaining these things, you will not understand. That's why I make it. When I work so much, you should at least work 1/4 of that so that you pass your exams. Yeah. Any other concerns? And those of you at YouTube, if you want to join here, I'll just post you the this one. Any interactions if you want to join here? Yes. Okay.
Father,
Sorry.
sorry.
Give me one sec. Just I am posting the link. If there are somebody who is in YouTube want to come and interact here, you can click on that link and come here. Okay. Direct interaction. And believe me, this is like this. For example, when there is a special batch class, the classroom is reserved for special batch members. When there is a general batch class, classroom is reserved for general batch members and special batch members. When there is a beginners batch, the classroom is reserved for beginners as well as special batch members. Special batch members have an entry in every session that we have. Okay. Others can definitely, we are trying to connect to YouTube Live. Whenever it is not your batch program, batch class, you can attend via YouTube Live. We are connecting YouTube Live because some special batch members, because of their duty, rota and all that, they will not be able to attend all the sessions, so they get disconnected. So at least they can watch on YouTube. Come on, yeah. And start speaking, okay, at this interaction. See, I tell you, competency, confidence, and attitude. These are very, very important. I tell you, more than 50% of the people lose their exams because they don't develop confidence, they develop competency. I have heard people saying, I was so frightened, I could not read, the words were flying. I could not read. Or I could so stressed that my hands were shivering, so I wrote with the left hand, my right hand, and wrote my letter. I'm not joking. So these are the opportunities where you can interact, develop confidence, and you can develop this one, what you call your communication skills, fluency. If you don't utilize these opportunities, you cannot develop it by yourself. It's very, very hard. Okay, make mistakes, no problem. Your mistakes are my syllabus. Your mistakes are my syllabus. Whenever I see some discussions going wrong, yesterday's session was basically based on one group discussion. Because almost everybody was wrong. They knew what I taught them, the principles, but they didn't know how to apply. Okay? So I took a detailed session. So your mistakes are my, what is it?
Syllabus.
My
Syllabus.
syllabus. Yeah. So don't worry about mistakes. The more you make mistakes, better sessions I will conduct and you will become more confident. Otherwise, I don't know what to teach you. Yes, come on now. Amanpreet, you'll have to unmute your video when you are here because we are not familiar with the people, right? Whether you're a robot or spammer, because you're in the names, sometimes you'll not be there. Techno, CK6. Come on, any
Father,
clarifications? Yeah.
Father,
Yeah.
in this section, question number 9, no, I
Hmm.
have a doubt. I don't know more knowledge. This, in question, it is showing leads to. So most probably we can predict the answer like organ or what leads to. Here, question number 9, no?
Leads to what? What is the answer? Leads to
Spinal cord or brainstem. So it
brainstem.
will
Yeah,
be.
leads to, leads to means it travels and reaches. Okay? It travels and reaches. You see that process you have to understand. It is in the soil or manure or animal feces. Then where it enters the body through the cuts or laceration. Then there is a toxic action happening. Then there is a mechanism reaction happening. Then there are problems, it affects the mechanism, nervous system, everything. Then the treatment, medical manifestations. After affecting, once it is affected, your muscles are stiff. It's not flexible. You have a feeling of paralysis, weak paralysis. Those are the medical manifestations. Then the medical limitations. How beautiful the process, As medical professionals, you can easily visualize it, right? If you remember first method for seeing, you have to visualize. Visual memory is very powerful. Now you have to create this story and create a drama by this material. You don't require to practice so many materials. Do best with all the materials that you touch upon.
Now I am practicing your material only, that authentic material. So
Yeah.
I am watching your all videos and I am
Yes.
writing the notes, everything.
Yeah, reading
Thank you
we
so
are
much.
including, we are, our tech team is working on reading materials, around 150 materials we are putting into the ebook. We will add them. We have already put them into the order. We are correcting, we're checking, and it takes a lot of time, That's why I ask you to buy some super chats, at least 10 rupees, because a lot of expense is there in the background. You see, if I were to afford 15,000 rupees, I'd have kept a backup or a, what you call, inverter here, then there is no interruption for the classes, which I cannot afford myself because we are not salaried people, We get a salary of 12,000, remuneration of 12,000 rupees, with which we have to manage everything. Okay, all our expenses, right? And it's a free platform, so we can't afford. Otherwise, we can give more powerful, effective things. That's why the tech team said, they are scolding me always. Why do you give all this free? Then they suggested me we are going to give some super chats or something else where they can buy for 10 rupees, 20 rupees. Okay, one session, you can pay 10 rupees. It's not payment. It's for supporting the tech team. There is a team working behind this. We are paying for them, right? Earlier, students themselves had a group, they were doing it. Now nobody does it. Yeah. Now people have become very, very selfish.
Excuse me, Father.
Yes.
From
Please.
where we can get this material?
Material is there. If you want to go, recently I did not visit the application. In the application, it's available. Otherwise, easy access is you go to the Telegram, main Telegram group.
Okay.
Click on that title of the Telegram. Then you will find media, music, files, everything. If it is reading material, go to files. You will find all the materials there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Father.
With the answer keys.
Thank you, Father.
99% will be authentic materials. By chance, if somebody posts something and it is written there, I don't know. Otherwise, it will be authentic material. And I tell you, don't go in search of so many material. Sorry, somebody is controlling my screen. See, don't go behind so many materials. It is not quantity of practice, but quality of practice is important. What I am doing now is more than enough for your practice.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, now if you can work out this one, you require at least 10 hours. I tell you, I have spent at least 3-4 hours preparing this material, PPTs and all those things. You need to work out the same material, understand everything, write down everything, go slow. That will improve your competency.
And
So, I'm not blocking you from getting a materials, you can, but then don't practice so many materials. Practice materials, authentic materials, and with all the details, understand. Okay, write down. And even writing will help you. Yes. Okay.
And Father, one thing I want to ask, because my speed is very low. I couldn't catch 15-minute 20 question. Is very difficult for me.
Yeah, that's why by practice you will catch it within 7 minutes. Majority of the aspirants since decades who have joined here first time without joining any other institute, they have completed within 7 or 8 minutes and scored 20 out of 30. There is no time management. There is nothing called time management in OET. As you gain competency, time is defeated. Time is defeated. Like yesterday, I have shown you, even without going to the text, you get so many answers. Otherwise, just reading the first sentence, you get so many answers. Right? That when you reach competency, not in the initial stage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yeah, go slow. Patience is the key. Consistency and patience.
Because I lose the confidence why I'm not getting the right answer.
No, from your tone, I can understand you hate OET. You have to fall in love with OET. Then only OET will love you. Such beautiful things. How can you hate it? No, English is for life. Don't learn it for OET. Okay, it's for life. This will be more beneficial for you to carry your profession in another country with the native speakers. So learn it for life. Teach your kids whatever you learn, some new things.
Yes, Doctor, please, I want to find out something about the marking scheme.
Sorry?
Can you please tell me, can you please tell us more about the marking scheme? How is marked? Because the reading, the first one is 20 questions. And then the part B is 6 questions. And part C, it's 12. So in all, it's about 38 questions.
Okay.
So is it that the marking is not a flat rate? Is it that they have different marks for each section?
No. It is like common understanding is that 10 marks for each question. But questions like gist-based question, which you will learn later, gradually I'll teach you, they carry more marks. Because you have 40 questions and 500 marks, right? So it is not equally distributed. No, it's not equally distributed. It is not section-wise distributed. But certain questions will have more marks. Like gist-based question will have more than 10 marks. Because that is a little challenging. So once you are thorough with other things, we will teach you those gist-based and extra marks questions, where if you require 500 out of 500. If you need 400 or so, even you can go without those.
Okay, so the part B2 does not have an equal mark. That one too varies.
No. If it is equal marks, how can you say what is the mark for 40 questions, 500 marks? So general understanding, 10 marks for each question. But some questions carry more marks.
Okay? I see. Yeah. Okay.
And just like the video, if you like the session, please click the like button at YouTube. And thank you, Vasudev. So, yeah, you have purchased a superstar for 40 rupees. Thank you. I wish everybody purchases at least 10 rupees superstars. Okay, every day. Now it helps us to reach to more people.